A tsunami, which translates to Great Harbor Wave in Japanese, is one of the Earth's most potent and catastrophic natural phenomena. It can travel over 800 kilometers per hour and span thousands of square kilometers across the ocean surface when distributed by an earthquake, landslide, or underwater volcanic eruption. Discover the wonders of science with Earth Insider. Stay ahead with the latest updates and breakthroughs in science in the world. And subscribe now to never miss out. In today's video, we will tell you about history's biggest tsunamis. Waves in the deep ocean can travel hundreds of kilometers between wave crests and reach speeds of over 500 miles per hour. They're also cunning, invisible from the air, and unable to be felt, not even on ships. These are the largest, deadliest, and most destructive tsunamis ever recorded. But before we proceed with details, if you're new to this channel, remember to hit the bell icon to subscribe so you won't miss the informative videos we will upload in the future. 5 biggest tsunami waves in history. The tallest tsunami ever recorded. On a calm July night in 1958, the biggest, almost horrific tsunami wave ever recorded occurred in Lituya Bay, a calm fjord in Alaska. Following a 7.8 magnitude earthquake 13 miles offshore, a 1,720-foot tsunami, higher than the Willis Tower in Chicago, loomed over the bay. As a result of the massive earthquake, about 30.6 million cubic meters of rock fell 3,000 feet into the Lituya Tidewater Glacier. This resulted in a tremendous surge of displaced water, which raced into the Gulf of Alaska, past Le Chasseau Spit, and through Lituya Bay. The tsunami was scary. 5 individuals were murdered, including a couple aboard a boat in Lituya Bay and 3 on the shore of Kantak Island, near the entrance of Yakutat Bay. The tsunami uprooted millions of trees, and its impacts are still felt today. There's a legend that the Gulf of Alaska has seen tsunamis. Though the massive ice and snow-covered mountain ranges make for a tranquil scene on a typical day, Lituya Bay's geology provides the perfect setting for tsunamis. This clarifies why it has held the record for tsunami waves over the past 60 years. The deadliest human-made tsunami disaster ever. The summit of Monte Toc, located in Italy at the border of Veneto and Friuli Venezia Giulia, fell away on October 9, 1963. This caused the reservoir of Vajont Dam, one of the most giant dams in the world at the time, to fill with 260 million cubic meters of rock. The landslide produced a gigantic wave of water of at least 50 million cubic meters in volume and 771 feet high. Several settlements were destroyed by floods in the valley during the dead of night. However, the dam itself sustained no significant damage. Nearly 2,000 individuals were killed in this, and most of them were asleep at the time. The enormous wave completely wrecked Longarone, a significant tourist destination in a mountain community consisting mainly of residential and commercial structures. Even so, years before Monte Toc collapsed, the inhabitants feared it might. Some had seen minor landslides as early as 1958, 2 years after the dam was built. Because managers and builders disregarded the need for soil conservation, the reservoir was filled far beyond its safety level. The Messina earthquake and tsunami in 1908. On December 28, 1908, early in the morning, an earthquake and a tsunami devastated southern Italy. Messina and numerous other coastal cities in Sicily and Italy were nearly destroyed by the tsunami and earthquake with a magnitude of 7.5. At least 80,000 people lost their lives in this calamity, while countless more had to escape. Scientists were still unable to determine the causes of the earthquake and tsunami even a century later. Finally, in 2019, research identified the fault that caused the earthquake in the Mediterranean. This calamity ranks among the top 5 worst tsunamis in modern history due to the combined impact of the earthquake and the tsunami. The Valdivia earthquake and tsunami in 1960. On May 22, 1960, the strongest earthquake ever recorded occurred off the southern coast of Chile. With waves as high as 80 feet, the 9.5 magnitude quake caused a tsunami that swept over the Pacific. In addition to injuring 3,000 people, the earthquake and tsunami in Chile left 2 million people without a place to live. When the tsunami surged over the ocean, Hawaii suffered damages worth millions of dollars, and Japan and the Philippines lost citizens. An estimated $550 million was lost in damages in Chile alone. This event is noteworthy because it was the biggest earthquake ever recorded and resulted in the first ever worldwide tsunami. This tsunami, which left destruction in its path and ranks among the 5 worst in modern history, devastated every inch of the Pacific Ocean. The Mount St. Helens Tsunami. Mount St. Helens erupted on May 18, 1980, following a peaceful 123-year interval marked by a sequence of earthquakes. Its north face gave way, resulting in one of the biggest landslides in history. The massive amount of water that the landslide displaced caused the 3rd largest tsunami in recorded history, measuring 820 feet. Before slamming into the basin below, the tsunami struck the side of Mount Margaret. Nevertheless, this was sufficient to devastate British Columbia, Washington, Oregon, and the rest of the Pacific Northwest shoreline, resulting in 14 fatalities and more than $1 billion in property damage. On October 17, 2015, a historic mega tsunami devastated the isolated fjord of Icy Bay in Alaska. The 633-foot wave destroyed 8 square kilometers of woodland in Wrangell St. Elias National Park and Preserve. 180 million tons of rock sliding into Tan Fjord, an arm of the Icy Bay Glacier, started it. Luckily, no people were in the vicinity when it happened. Like Lituya Bay, Icy Bay features incredibly steep walls sculpted by a retreating glacier, significantly increasing the tsunami's destructive power. Tsunami of the Ambon Island, Indonesia. One of the most giant tsunamis ever recorded occurred during the first mega tsunami in Indonesia, which was carefully documented. On February 17, 1674, an earthquake occurred in the Banda Sea near the Maluku Islands. Over 2,000 people were killed when a huge wave crashed over Ambon Island as a result of the earthquake. When the water reached the coastal hills of the Hitu Peninsula, they were inundated, suggesting that the tsunami's maximum height was around 328 feet. Tsunamis do not frequently strike Greenland, but in 2017, it was hit by one of the most giant waves ever observed. In June 2017, a landslide on the Karat Fjord inundated the fishing community of New Gatsiak with a 295-foot tall wall of water. 4 people were killed and the mega tsunami destroyed 11 buildings. Experts claim that the incident was brought on by the glacier landscape becoming less frozen due to global warming. The mountains around Karat Fjord are still unstable, and Greenland may soon experience a tsunami brought on by a landslide. A mega tsunami of the future. Canary Islands. La Palma, an island in the Canaries, has been discussed extensively as a potential site for a mega tsunami caused by landslides. According to some experts, the island's western flank might collapse due to a future eruption of the Cumbre Vieja volcano. If that were to occur, a tremendous volume of rock, up to 500,000 million tons in weight, would fall into the Atlantic Ocean. Experts have modeled the possible repercussions of such a collapse in Switzerland. Their model predicted it would cause a wave big enough to swallow up every port on the US East Coast. They liken this devastating tsunami catastrophe of the future to one that happened 120,000 years ago. The most damaging tsunami to infrastructure. More infrastructure was damaged by the earthquake and tsunami that rocked Japan's Tohoku area on March 11, 2011 than by any other disaster in recent memory. There was a 9.0 magnitude earthquake, and waves as high as 132 feet rose. This tragedy claimed the lives of over 15,500 individuals and left over 450,000 homeless. At the Fukushima Daiichi power plant, the tsunami also resulted in a level 7 nuclear meltdown and radioactive material leakage, with material losses estimated to reach $300 billion. The deadliest tsunami in the 21st century. A powerful tsunami that raced across the Indian Ocean was caused by an undersea 9.1 magnitude earthquake that struck early on December 26, 2004. After hitting Indonesia, the tsunami quickly spread to 11 other countries, including Thailand, Sri Lanka, India, and South Africa. With some waves reaching heights of over 100 feet, this tsunami had the most significant documented death toll, at about 230,000. Before the 2004 tsunami, no suitable plans or communication systems existed for the calamity in the Indian Ocean. Since then, governments and researchers have changed how research is carried out, and how preparations are made to better understand tsunamis and implement early warning systems. This concludes today's video. Although we can never prevent a natural tsunami from occurring, we can save lives by creating efficient warning systems that detect when one is about to occur and assist people in escaping to higher ground in time. Don't forget to like the video and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any new videos from our channel. Thanks for watching, and see you all soon.